we would like to welcome you all on our tour, Authentically. Everybody in this bus is in the correct tour? Yes? Now why am I asking? You are laughing. But sometimes we have guests on board and on our way they are asking, oh no, I am in the wrong tour. So that's why I would like to confirm that everybody is in the correct tour, okay? So everybody is going to the Authentically. We have actually 3 stops. Our very first stop will be at all the tours. This tour is going to the east side of the island. So our very first stop will be the LOA Plantation Farm. Our second stop will be the Serena's Art Factory. And the last stop, save the best for the last, that's the distillery. Everybody excited to go to the distillery? Okay, before everything would like to introduce the most important person in this bus, who is our driver, Francis.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Curacao.
Thank you. Morning.
And myself as your guide, my name is very simple, Magda, M-A-G-D-A. I have the name tag. I would like to ask all of you, whenever you have a question, I will face you all. Please raise your hand and address to me. And then, you know, we don't know everything. I don't promise you that I know everything. But whenever you ask me a question that I don't know, before you leave this bus, I will look it up and come back to you, okay? I will sit because it's not permitted to stand or to walk in the bus. When we stop the bus, I will tell you exactly that's the time to exit the bus, okay? So, enjoy the tour!
Thank you.
Okay, friends. There's playing in the Major League Baseball. In the Major League Baseball, we will paint the mural completely with all of them. So if you come by next time, you will see a very nice mural with all of them. Your right hand side here, I will come back to the map. Here we have our resort, and at the other side we have the water fort and the yellow building with the green windows. That's the Amsterdam Fort. Very, very first fort built by the West Indian Company of the Netherlands. So when I say Netherlands, you can imagine that we are Dutch. And this is the entrance of our harbor, the St. Anna Bay. And it was a Spaniard who conquered our harbor, Alonso de Ojeda, in 1499. To come back to Curacao here on the island, it's 38 miles long, elongated form, and 4 to 9 miles wide. And here on the island lives 155,826 inhabitants. But mind you, of 109 nationalities, yes. But we love everyone. This is the Brion Square at your left hand side, and coming up at your right hand side is a pontoon bridge. This pontoon bridge was built in 1888 by Leonard Burlington Smith. It consists of 16 boats or 16 pontoons. So that's why we call it the pontoon bridge. But the original name is the Emma Bridge. And we call it also the Swinging Old Lady. Why Swinging Old Lady? Because this bridge, I actually don't like to talk about beautiful. But I can assure you, this pontoon bridge is the most beautiful bridges in the world. Because it swings open at the left hand side, mind you, 30 to 35 times a day for vessels, boats, cruise ships, tankers enter and exit our harbor. So that's why I am telling you it's the most beautiful pontoon bridges in the world. At the other side, you painted, colored painted stairs with a lot of bougainvilleas, our national flower, next to it. Yes, as I was mentioning, all those buildings were made from limestone and coral stone. So you can imagine after 2 or 3 years the plaster will come out and it will come out and we have to plaster them again. But all those buildings, I know it costs a lot of money to maintain them, but we have to maintain them because we are listed on the UNESCO list with approximately of 600 monuments. So we have to maintain our monuments. And here, all those monuments dated from the 18th century. And they are of the Dutch architecture. So this area, all those buildings are of Dutch architecture. You have some in decay, like this one at your left hand side. But as I mentioned already, we have 2 foundations that take care of them. So it costs a lot of money to maintain all those buildings. Also in front of us, the yellow building also form part of the UNESCO heritage. The mural in front of us, you can see some sponsors during the last, they all were sponsors during the last mural painting in August bridge. So you can put your camera ready because we are going up the highest bridge in the Caribbean. This highest bridge came to the island in 50 pieces from the Netherlands, and here we assembled it. And it was inaugurated by the latest Queen Juliana, the 30th of April 1974. So it's a very old bridge, already more than 50 years old. At your left hand side, you can see the chimney of the former oil refinery. I say former because since 2019 we don't have the oil refinery anymore, but this year they started with the project to clean it up and come with something else. Right now we are going up the highest bridge. You have a view of your ship and the other ship of our harbor, our pontoon bridge, all the buildings and houses in Otro Banda. Also our hospital, that's the yellow building that you see over there at your left hand side. That's our hospital or our medical center, the yellow one. This is Otro Banda. Okay, we got our driver just helped me by telling you that the oil refinery, we got Orex, that's a company for 30 years to operate the oil refinery again. So at your right hand side here, you can see your ship going up the highest bridge. Also the pontoon bridge. Our harbor, very difficult for you to pronounce It's the Schottergat, Schottegat. The Schottergat, that's the name of our Hartmanel television station at your left hand side. Coming up, you can see already the flag here of the United States of America at your right hand side. This is the consulate of the United States, or the Roosevelt House at your right hand side. So this is U.S. property. Yes. Again, at your left hand side, the yellow cranes of our dry dock, and the two yellow cranes in front, those.
Well, she's this beautiful lady over here, as you guys can see over there. The eldest sister in the family, or the eldest daughter. The role of the Chichi back then was to look out for all the younger siblings when mom went to work or when mom went to a party or something. Because back then, we had a really big family of 10, even 12 kids. And obviously, it was too much for the mom to look out for all those children. So the mother had asked the Chichi to help her on the house to make her job a lot easier. And all of a sudden back then it was very important because the Chichi had to grow up really fast, and suddenly she became like a second mother figure. And just like you're not gonna call your mom by her first name, you're gonna say mom. Well, the same thing counted for the Chichi back then. So you would call her Chichi, like a nickname for the Chichi. So that's how the nickname Chichi actually got its name from. And that was a Chichi sculpture. Nowadays, you don't have to be a Chichi. My colleagues here for them, my colleagues Mikey and Laura, Jake, they are all our Chichis here. And now for the male version, we have something called the Boo Boo, which is this guy right here, the eldest brother on the other side of the family. The role of the Boo Boo back then was to help out the father with extra income, like for the financial part. For example, when the Boo Boo went out to the father fishing, then by the end of the day when they got fish and rollers in the hair, that's we call something called a shawawa. So shawawa actually means women wear rollers in hair out in public. Because back in those days, if these women were wearing rollers in hair for like 5 minutes, it won't work. So then it won't retain the shape. So what do these women do? They just go out in public and it's like, you know, I'm gonna go to the supermarket, I want to take these off and keep them inside. But back then, it was also to let people know that it's like, hey look, that's a shawawa. But back then, it was to let the people know back then, so that the women are gonna go to the party later on tonight. Of course, all elegantly dressed, but not the colors in the hair, because that's not pretty. But that's not basically a show off, so that's how the name Shawawa actually got its name from.
Right. Will get you relief from fever, also stephanol, all those uses. We call it the air conditioning of water. Look how I feel when I put it on my head. See how I feel? If you want to feel like me, you can have it on your hand and then you can taste outside. 3 days, and then we stay here for one.
We do 5 days a month. So we just last week finished the first 5 days for December. So it's not until next year that we will harvest again. What do we do when we harvest? If this is the plant growing outwards like that, we will always cut about 6 to 7 leaves from the bottom, because those are then the widest and the thickest leaves, and those are the ones we use because we want the most gel. So then the plant looks a little bit like it's on a pedestal, like that one, yeah? And it stays like that for 6 months, it starts to grow again, and 6 months later the same plant will be cut again. So it's only twice a year. So then it starts growing from the center again, they'll be outwards again. Never cut in the center because you're killing the plant, so always from outside. Now as you can see, there's hardly any flowers. I only saw one here, because the flowers, we cut them out because they take too much energy from the plant. So we take the flowers out. We always put some here because the hummingbirds love them, the little Sarcodiphius, the yellow bellies, they love them, so we always put some here. But then you're probably wondering, if you get rid of the flowers and they go to the compost, how do you get new plants, correct? Well, every aloe vera gets little babies on the side. Again, we cut them out because they take too much